Good morning, folks. Welcome to another edition of the Morning Glory sessions. Took yesterday off, St. Paddy's Day. Just thought I'd give myself a break and enjoy life with the family. And today I'm back on it, and I want to talk about denial, because this last year has exposed just how much the majority of us live in denial. I've been lucky enough over lockdown to not to have lost too many clients or too many members, because it's just, because we're doing online training, doing Zoom sessions, using the app. And I've been lucky. A lot of gyms have lost a lot of members. But the reality is, we are living in a different climate right now. Regardless of what you believe of COVID, regardless of your personal political beliefs or whatever, the reality is currently, because of the actions we're taking and the refusal to argue against the government, we are in a current position where we are going to be in lockdown for the foreseeable future. Whether that means they're going to open us up intermittently and then close us down again like they have done over the last year, or that means they're just going to lock us down permanently eventually, I don't know. But the reality is, unless we step up and argue and fight against what's happening, this is going to be our current reality. And if that's going to be our current reality, well then, the reality is the gyms are not going to open. And you're going to have to look after your health in a different way. The problem is, a lot of people are still holding on to this story and this belief that, I'll get back when the gyms are open. I'll get back to doing it when life gets back to normal, when I get my vaccinations. Well, you've got your vaccinations and lifestyle isn't back to normal. So at what point do you actually look in the mirror and realize that this current climate is all we have got right now, and that if you don't take action today to allow yourself to adapt to the situation, well, then you're going to regress. Any gains you ever made in the gym is going to go. And I'm having this conversation with lots of my members. Listen, the mental health, sorry, it's on my throat here. The mental health issue, which is probably something we're going to touch on tomorrow or next week. We need to take control of our lives as best as we possibly can. You've fallen down on this excuse, or fallen back on this excuse of, I'll wait until the gyms are open. It's basically you telling yourself you're a victim to the situation. Your current climate you have no control over, and that because it's being imposed on you, that you've just got to accept it. And that's bullshit. That reality is bullshit. What lockdown has done to a lot of people is it's exposed one of two things. It's exposed the people who are victims, and they're just willing to just allow whatever happens to happen. They're just not going to stand up. And it's exposed the people who step up and just fight back and just say, no, I want to do everything in my power to maintain this current lifestyle that I've got as much as I can possibly can. And one of the simplest and most effective ways we can do things, I guess, is by changing how we eat and changing how we train. We can, if we want to, do push-ups on the floor. We can find a ledge and do pull-ups off. I made, I don't know if I've got it somewhere about. Have we got it? No, I can't see it. I made a suspension trainer for under £6. Now, it might be a big deal, but that's £6 investment means that in this house I can do inverted rows, I can do T's, Y's, Cuban rows. I can do lots of different exercises just by simply hanging over a door frame. And that may sound stupid, but that simple act of building that, it's an empowerment. It's empowering, because it means that regardless of what life throws at me, I have still got the ability to take actions to change my outcome. And this is what it's crucial people understand this. Regardless of what's happening outside of us, regardless of what happened around the world, we are in our own wee bubble, and we have got the power to make sure changes happen that benefit us inside our own wee lives. Now, our gyms are closed, our businesses are shut, we're separated from our families. That is something out of our power. Well, actually, it wasn't, because I didn't obey any of the rules. I just kept doing what I wanted to do. But for the majority of people who capitulated to this sort of thing, their lives were disrupted massively. And that disruption in life crossed over to all other aspects of life. We don't seem to realize the connections that, when you upset one element of your life, how it can affect the rest of them. And this is why these small actions can make massive differences in how you think about things and how you feel about things. I'll leave that one to tomorrow. I'm going to talk about mental health tomorrow. But our ability to to dictate certain aspects of our life is always there. Regardless of what the newspapers say, regardless of what we see outside, regardless of what we reading or watching the TV, there are areas of our life that we can control quite easily. It just takes a bit of willpower. And that's where the problem comes, because when you're under stress, we're under a lot of stress here, chronic stress. And that chronic stress is bringing our energies down, our vibrational energy down. And we don't want to do things, but we'll find a very simple way to avoid doing what we're going to do through excuses. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do it after dinner. I'll do that when. We'll never say we'll do that now and get up and actually take action to do it. And that is the problem. When we don't do that, when we say I will do that when and then never do it, that's building a habit. That's the start of a habit being built. And I can talk about habits all the time. Habits are going to dictate our actions, because our habitual thoughts dictate our habitual actions, which dictate our outcome. And usually our outcomes are very habitual too. I'll give you an example. How many joined a 6-week program, lost weight, stopped the 6-week program, thought I've lost a stone, I'm happy, went back to the old way of eating, old way of living, put that weight back on. Fuck, I'm back here again. I'll join that gym again, that 6-week program, and we'll continue that cycle on. These habitual thoughts and our actions are dictating our outcome. So that stands to reason then, if we were to change our thoughts, we'll change our actions, we'll change our outcome. You are currently locked down. Okay, you may be off work, you may be furloughed, or you may be still working, but we are locked down. We don't have access to gyms. Why have you not, over this last year, built a gym in your house? Oh, but gym equipment's so expensive. So what? So many of us are, now I'm not saying everyone, by the way, because I understand we're not in the same boat, we're in the same ocean, and some of us are in yachts, and some of us are in fucking dinghies, and some of us the sea's calm, and some of us are in the middle of a fucking storm. But for a lot of people out there, you're probably better off than you've ever been. We can't spend their money on the usual things, holidays, etc. We've got surplus income. For a lot of us who are business owners, the government are giving us money, and we've got more money than we've ever had. I've been pumping stuff into the gym regularly and trying to build it up. But why have you not taken advantage of this moment and spent the money on a gym? Because you've got a future forecast. By the looks of things, we were told that it was once the vaccination started that the world would open up again. Now we've been told, oh, there's too many strains, now we can't. So we've got to just accept it. By the looks of things, we're not going to open up for quite some time. At the very earliest, I would say we'll get the gyms open again by the end of April, start of May. So that's still giving us 6 weeks. 6 weeks for you to do fuck all, or 6 weeks for you to get your life back on track. What one are you going to choose? Because you don't choose A or B. And that's the reality. And if you end up choosing A, just sitting where you're at and just accepting life or what's going through us and just try to be reactive to the situation, I can guarantee you're going to be a stone overweight in 6 weeks' time. You're going to be a stone heavier than you are now. You're going to feel worse than you are now. You're going to look worse. You're going to have less muscle mass. You're going to have less strength. And it's all because you decided to do fuck all. And you can blame the government, you can blame lockdown, you can blame everything, because that's what we do. We blame everyone else except our fucking selves. And the reality is, it is your fault. If you're in lockdown and you're putting on weight, and you go on Instagram or Facebook and you see someone else who's in lockdown and has lost weight or built their bodies or done something to improve themselves, you have to accept that you are the problem. You're the common denominator in all these issues you've got. And the minute you do that, that is so fucking empowering. People don't understand this. When you own the shit that's happening in your life, when you take responsibility for it, that means you're now in a different place mentally, and you can actually start taking actions towards changing these issues. And when you start changing these issues, that changes your mindset as well. Whenever you take forward momentum, and I always use this word forward momentum, taking one step forward, it doesn't matter if you succeed. It's not about the succeeding. It's about removing yourself from the current place you're in. When you're in a place where you feel powerless, where you don't feel like you've got any control, it's a very demoralizing position to be in. It's a very demoralizing energy to be in. You'll bring your energy down. You'll start feeling victimized, and you're like a thermometer. You react. You're not like a thermostat. Thermostat sets a temperature. A thermometer reacts to the temperature. You're like a thermometer. You're just reacting to whatever's happening, whatever life's throwing at you. And that means you're not in control of anything. And if you're not in control of something, you feel powerless. And when you feel powerless, you feel helpless. And when you feel helpless, you don't want to do shit. And that's the current world we live in. Everyone is feeling helpless. Everyone's feeling powerless. Everyone's waiting to hear, what are we allowed to do? You can do whatever you fucking want. Fuck them. I have not heard to any rules they've done so far. I don't give a fuck anymore. This is just bullshit, and it's ruining people's lives, and it's affecting the mental health, which I'm going to talk about tomorrow. But we can take action today to change our outcomes, and it simply means, and it's not hard. It's not easy. It's simple but not easy. It means saying no to that beer. And there's beer in the fridge right now. I bought 4 beer last night because it was St. Paddy's Day. I didn't need it, didn't even drink them. I just bought them because I wanted them. Now I'm going to be in a position where I have to hold off to tomorrow because I purposely I put on too much weight. I shouldn't have bought those beers, but I did. I give in to it, but I didn't drink them last night, and I'm not going to allow myself to drink them this Saturday. And that's going to be that sort of mental barrier, that exercise I'm going to have now is going to stand me in good stead. People need to understand the small steps every time you take action towards improving yourself, towards the direction that you want to get into or you want to be in. That is empowering yourself. That is giving you tangible evidence and tangible proof that you can change, that you have the ability to say no to things, that you have the ability to take action, do some push-ups. Any one of these right now. Doesn't matter if you can't do a push-up on the floor or not. You can get off a bench and do a few push-ups. You can make yourself that KO or that suspension trainer I made. It's literally 3 meters of cord or 3.5 meters of cord, 16 inches or 18 inches of piping divided into 2 6-inch bits for handles and 1 4-inch bit to throw over the wall, over the door as a doorstop, so you can enclose the door, and a bowline knot in each end. And that's my suspension trainer. I just do them. I can do retraction exercises, which means I'm stabilizing the push pull. So for every push exercise you do, two pull exercises. So I'm able to do that now. I'm able to stabilize. I'm able to do some workouts that they may not be the most effective, but it's not about having like this muscle sculpting ultimate program. It's about doing something. It's about forward momentum. It's about accepting that you're in a certain position and that you've got to find a way of allowing yourself to be you, to improve yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Stop waiting for the government to tell us what to do. Stop waiting for handouts. Start looking for ways that you can empower yourself. Because when you start doing that, you're out of this world of denial. You know, you need this. We all need to do this. We're all victims of it. We're all guilty of it. We're all human beings. We're all going to fall into that trap of feeling sorry for ourselves, letting life overwhelm us. But we can't allow ourselves to stay there. And if you're in denial about thinking that this lockdown is going to end, and once this lockdown ends, it's going to be over, then you are in denial. And that's already set yourself, and your thoughts are going to dictate your actions. So if you're thinking that lockdown's going to end soon, if you're thinking that soon the world's going to open and we're going to go back to normal, what actions are you going to take if that's what you're thinking? Why are you thinking like that when we know from all experience the last 12 months that it's probably not going to happen like that way? And if it does happen, that this is the last lockdown and the world does open up again, that's brilliant. Then we've got the power, we've got the ability to just move on with life. But if you allow yourself to remain where you're at and just wait for that moment, you're creating that habit, you're creating that thought pattern that's going to just not allow you to actually take control. You need to start thinking about, if I can do this now when this world is shit, what am I going to be able to do when the world opens again? Well, how stronger am I going to be when everything's opened and the world's my oyster again? You'll have created a different thought pattern. You yourself will have changed and you will have become a completely different person. So think about that. I'll see you tomorrow.